Good afternoon, all. It is Friday, preparation day, and we are under a hurricane at the moment. It's not very bad where I am, but it's terrible down on the coastal areas. So anyway, I hope that everyone is faring well, even those who chose to stay in the path of the storm. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer when it comes to evacuation or choosing whether to evacuate or not, at least within the realm of good sense. I mean, obviously there comes a point where evacuation should be necessary, even in the minds of those who think otherwise. I hope that those who did choose to stay are out of harm's way, far from danger. I hope that Yahweh puts his hands over them and protects them, because he does definitely protect us from our own poor choices, as well as things that we don't even know about. But I'm here today making this video about a specific concept, and that concept is boycotting. Should we boycott companies that have moral stances that we don't agree with? Should we boycott companies that take political positions that we disagree with? There's a famous radio host, a radio talk show host. He's actually got a television show as well, that says he doesn't call for boycotts and things like that. Now, I can understand not calling for boycotts, but on that same note, you have to have some kind of moral position on, not that you have to have, but you do have a moral position. Everyone has a moral position on everything. Everyone alive thinks that there are right things and wrong things. Now, what they use for that standard differs from person to person. Myself, I use Yahweh's word, or the Bible, as my moral compass. Yahweh's will, his set of instructions to know what's right and wrong. Got both of my dogs sitting right here. This here is Stupid. See, he looked when I called his name.
Hey, Stupid, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. See, he knows I'm talking to him. All right, calm down. And this here is Smudge. And Smudge is a good girl. And Stupid and Smudge are jealous of each other. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, good boy? How about you, Smudge? Are you jealous?
All right, go over there. Good boy. All right, I'll play with you in a minute. Smudge has been in the house with me all day on account of all this rain. And you see right out there my dump truck and backhoe, they're all fueled up and got the trailer hooked up in case I need to load the backhoe quickly to go out and help someone, or rescue someone from some deep water, or if that's not necessary, then I'm ready for the aftermath. When the sheriff's department or the local municipalities call for people to help get trees off the roads and stuff like that, you know, I'm all ready to go. And if they don't call me, then when the other organizations come in to help those who are very severely affected by the storm, such as the Red Cross and things like that. But anyway, that actually kind of spins me right back around to talking about boycotting, because there are even certain organizations that have put themselves into position and made the claim that they are non-profit organizations to help certain groups or ailments or something or other like that. To use an example, Autism Speaks. I don't promote that company or organization, whatever you want to call them, non-profit, because the majority of the money that they get that's donated to them goes to pay their upper echelon executives, you know, CEO, COO, CFO, board of directors, and so forth and so on. You know, their upper echelon executives. Very, very little of the money, percentage-wise, goes towards actual autism research and things like that. But aside from that, you know, they focus more, at least in their ideology, towards finding a cure for autism. And probably one of the biggest cures for autism would be to stop injecting mercury and formaldehyde and other harmful chemicals in infants and small young children, claiming that you're protecting them against certain viruses, you know, like the MMR vaccine. Just look up it's thimerosal or thimerosal, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but you go right to the CDC website, which is another organization that I hopefully, willfully, conscientiously object towards, because that's a whole nother can of worms I'll get into in a minute. But go to the CDC website, and or better yet, just go to Google and type in vaccine ingredients, and it'll come up with formaldehyde, thimerosal, and it'll carry you right to the CDC website now, and it lists all of these things. I'll include a link in the description below, along with a couple other links. And we know that formaldehyde is toxic to people, to the point that when they used to make mobile homes, you know, build mobile homes, they would pump them full of formaldehyde. You know, the materials used to build them were formaldehyde treated, and then they would pump formaldehyde through them in a gaseous form to help preserve them or whatever. I'm not sure what the purpose was, to defunk them after they built them, I don't know. But there was a very distinctive aroma in new mobile homes. I know, because I've been in a bunch of them, and that's what it was that we were smelling, was the formaldehyde. So it's not legal to use it in construction anymore. You know, it's not legal to use it in construction materials and whatnot. But and if it's bad for you to breathe, it certainly has to be bad for you to inject it directly into your body. And thimerosal is a mercury compound. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'll include that word in the description below. And we know that mercury is a neurotoxin, And once mercury enters the body, the body can't process it and get rid of it. So it's there until you die. Now, there are those people who make the argument that it's a negligible amount of mercury and all of that. Well, let me ask you. This vaccine has a negligible amount, that vaccine has a negligible amount, and this can of tuna fish has a negligible amount, and you know that deep sea fish that you ate has a negligible amount, and you know all these other exposures that you have to it. You know, old lead-based paints have, you know, a content of mercury in them, because lead and mercury kind of go hand in hand when it comes to. All lead has some content of mercury in it, just like all mercury has some content of lead in it. It's just because in nature they kind of accumulate together. So all of these negligible amounts accumulate in your body since your body can't get rid of them. So at what point does that negligible amount add to the cumulative effect that winds up making you go insane or killing you, or you know, whatever? Nowhere in scripture does it say it's acceptable for us to consume any amount of poison or toxic substance, to the point that it actually gives us specific instructions on what's edible and what's not. So, not to turn this into a clean and unclean debate, but just talking about using a little bit of common sense and searching things out and boycotting or rejecting agencies, businesses, groups that are morally flawed, such as Autism Speaks. And Starbucks is another one. You know, Starbucks supports Planned Parenthood. And what is Planned Parenthood aside from an abortion mill? And there are those that make the arguments, oh, well, they do good things for women. You know, they're about women's health. Well, okay. So, the communist regime in Venezuela, they're watching people's diet so people don't get overweight, right? No, that's not what they're doing. Or communist, liberal, socialist, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's all communism, and it's those in power taking from those who have no power and letting those who have no power suffer. But, you know, you can take any evil situation and try to twist some good out of it, but does the good outweigh the bad? Absolutely not. You know, so I don't care if they do give birth control pills to preteen girls that shouldn't be engaging in sexual activities anyway. That's not a good thing either. Oh, well, it's keeping them from getting pregnant. Well, no, it's encouraging them to have sex is what it's doing, and they shouldn't be doing it, period. So, you know, not only that, but Starbucks emblem, which, you know, I'll put right up over here, and I'll include a link in the description on the history behind their emblem and why they chose it and all of that stuff. I'm not going to do extensive research, I'll leave that to you, but you know, choose who you do business with wisely. Again, to go back to Starbucks, I really like the French vanilla Frappuccino, but it's not morally worth it to me to fund Planned Parenthood just to satisfy my taste buds. Besides, there are other companies that make vanilla and French vanilla flavored coffee drinks and flavor additives and whatnot that don't support abortion and other immoral things. Anyway, I realize this video is kind of rambling, a little bit off topic and stuff like that. You know, I kind of scatter all over the place, but suffice it to say, again, I hope everyone fares well through this hurricane. Anybody that needs any help, you know, comment on the video. We'll figure out how to get in contact with one another. If I can help you, I will. If not, I will try to point you in the direction to get the help that you need. Remember Acts chapter 17 verses 10 and 11, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15, Proverbs chapter 18 verses 13 and 21, and Yahweh bless. I hope to see you all in the kingdom of heaven.